So, usually, Xan, it's you talking about Tencent, but I think today I'm going to give it my little run. Not anything like in particular, but we've obviously heard a lot from Tencent over the past, however long, different stories here and there. We'll talk about probably some other Tencent stories later on in the podcast. I wanted to start this one off, though. We kind of just going over a quick list with you of every game that Tencent has its hands in, or every project we know of currently that Tencent has ownership in.
So this is going to be like a 40-minute long list,
no,
right? Like we're going to be
the
talking.
The list is the longest part.
Yeah.
I don't even think we need to talk too much in depth about all of these besides a few of them, but just wanted to give people kind of a context of Tencent. Whenever we talk about them, we're like, oh my gosh, they're so scary. This is just a few of the companies. I think they have other projects, right, that don't need to be listed. These are just their investments.
Yeah.
Out there. So a list as well, if you guys just want to Google who Tencent owns, it probably will come up to all of you. The first and foremost, Riot Games. They own 100% of Riot Games.
Which is always insane to think about, that Riot was 100% owned.
Like, Riot is 100%
Tencent.
not Riot.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. And then we'll definitely talk about this in another story coming up here pretty soon. It's pretty crazy to see how influential, if you get bought out, how much your decisions are not your own anymore. Even if it's not just Riot 100%, but other percentages too. Tencent's been dipping their hands, and they've also been dipping decisions in all of these tiny little ownerships they have.
I would be fascinated to learn what the benefit of the League of Legends partnership with Tencent is.
Yeah.
Because the league was doing fine beforehand, so it's not like they really needed the investor capital or anything.
And I believe the original amount was actually $400 million. You got to imagine it's probably worth a bit more than that nowadays.
Yeah.
So, and all of these I'm going to list off very quickly here as well. They've made just not even presumptuous is the right word. A lot of sums of money out there they've made from these investments.
These might be the smartest business people in the world, honestly.
They're gods of esports. They're gods of gaming. They know what to dip their fingers in. They know what to buy.
That's only even in the gaming sphere. If you ever look outside of gaming, everything they have money in and everything they've made money on, it's almost like if Tencent is willing to invest in you or buy you, maybe you shouldn't be selling because they know what you could be. But then again, how do you reject a Tencent investment? Right.
So anyway, continuing very quick. Epic Games, 40%, $330 million that investment. By the way, last year alone, Fortnite made $2.4 billion. So Tencent, the guy who made that deal, paying for the kids in the fam.
You know he got promoted real quick.
Oh, my gosh. Blue Hole, which is PUBG, 11.5%. PUBG Mobile also making hundreds of millions of dollars. Ubisoft, 5%. We got on top of that as well Activision Blizzard, 5%. We'll talk about them in a bit. That 5% is actually very influential. The list goes on. Grinding Gear Games, that's a Path of Exile.
Right.
80% of them. Other investments worth noting are Supercell. So that's not Clash of Clans, I believe. Is Supercell.
Right,
gigantic in the app space. They own 84% of them. Frontier Developments, Kakao, probably mispronounced that. Sorry, Zan.
No, that's actually pretty close.
Let's go. Paradox and Fat Shark, amongst others as well. Funcom, Shark Mob, Discord, Reddit. Like, I don't even know how to react to this point, bro. Like,
honestly, I'm glad we're only looking at that list, because if you go to like ask the movie industry what Tencent is doing,
so scary,
and you're just like.
And people don't before you told me a lot of this stuff, I didn't realize it. Before we started covering all these stories, you really have no knowledge of it. Just Discord and Reddit alone makes you scared about what they're maybe pushing on those sites and on those forums of what they want public and what they don't want. We have all these conspiracies about, Epic Games and all these devs out there downvoting on Reddit. Who's to say that it's not freaking the kings of Tencent behind it all?
I mean, if anybody knows how to stay quiet, keep their heads down, and just do what they need to do, it's Tencent. Tencent's been around since the 1900s. And most people have not heard of them up until like maybe this year.
And those are just gaming. You said movie industry. We talked about last podcast, AI.
Music. They have, their catalog is... Think about how scary Apple is, right?
Yeah.
And then just make it like Apple, but they do everything but the phone.
Yeah.
And they also kind of do phones.
Yeah. And just like, it's so crazy. And so I wanted to just briefly have a segment about that. Obviously, we could have individual videos about that in the future.
Definitely.
But we just want to reiterate to all of you guys, we always say Tencent is king when it comes to gaming, but it's because they expand so much elsewhere.
Oh, you know what? technically speaking, they are actually king of gaming. They are the number one. They're the biggest video game company in the world,
which makes perfect
sense.
With
all of their holdings. Yeah, I looked
that up.
Yeah.
It's just like it's weird to see like everyone talks about Valve, Activision Blizzard, Riot, but everything is owned by Tencent.
Yeah, right.
And so
everybody's like starting these wars between companies, and it's like, it's all just one company making all of the money.
It's like
what is it? What is the point?
If esports or gaming's in a simulation, that simulation is being ran by Tencent. So we'll move on to your story, but either way, they continue to scare me every single day, and that's Tencent.